Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the first Friday night at the Mike Holcomb Athletic Complex here in Jackson, Kentucky, on the riverbank. Myself, Rob Hounshell, Matthew Hudson here to my right, and our counterpart, Eric Collins, is on the way over. He'll be here shortly. We're going to get you tuned up and get you ready to go here for this first scrimmage of the 2023 football season of the Breathitt Bobcats as they welcome in the Pikeville Panthers, defending Class 1A state championship from last year. They went down and whipped up on Raceland down on Kroger Field last year, and they bring in a team, Matthew, that's loaded with talent and loaded with kids. A lot of fine athletes out here on the field in front of us. The field looks great. They've done a lot of work over here this year. Still a lot of work going on here in Breathitt County campus here at the high school. The stadium, or the weight room just to the left of the stadium, is getting the finishing touches on the second story, and went through and took a little bit of a tour of that, and it's looking great. It's going to be great for the kids. And everything's looking up here for the Bobcats. We'll see how they fare tonight in this scrimmage. It's going to be a little bit of a different format than a regular game. From what I can take so far, from what I can gather, we'll have a series, 10 plays offense and 10 plays of defense. And then that'll be varsity. We'll probably do that for 2 series. So it'll be 10 offensive plays for the Cats or the Panthers and vice versa. They'll probably do that for 2 series before they start interchanging some younger players and some JV guys out onto the field and getting them plenty of action in for the young guys too. They'll probably do a series. And then they're going to go the full length of the field for probably about 20 minutes. So we probably got about 2 hours of coverage here for the Panthers and the Cats as we get ready to go for this 2023 football season for the Breathitt County Bobcats. Looking for big things from a lot of these young players that were stars last year. A lot of people that didn't know who was going to be playing what position for the Cats. And a lot of these kids have got a year under their belt. They've had some great practices with all of the adversity that we've had here in the community. These guys have still come in and put in the work and are ready to go. And we'll see just how they fare against this 1A defending state championship team of the Pikeville Panthers. Pikeville, of course, getting a big transfer from Belfry and Isaiah Stanley. Young man could make a big difference on this ball club. It's hard to call a scrimmage, folks, because when you go online and you start looking up information, there's not a lot of rosters, and some of the numbers aren't correct, and so on and so forth. So we're going to do the best we can. I haven't got to look through everybody on Pikeville yet on the field to see if the numbers match up with what the guy looked like last year. So we'll be trying to get through that early and see if we can wade through some of the characters on the field and do a good job for the Panthers calling the game as well as the Bobcats. We're going to take a quick break. We'll go to commercial. I'll kick it over to Matthew, and we'll be back after this message here on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
At People's Bank, our vision is to be the best community bank in America. We pride ourselves in being a community bank that builds relationships with our clients and offers cutting-edge financial products. For 120 years, People's Bank has focused on helping clients achieve their financial goals. We would love a chance to earn your business. People's Bank, working together, building success.
Go Time is a locally owned and operated convenience store that has all your wants and needs in one stop. We have everything from quick snacks and cold drinks, a full-service deli, fresh coffee bar, soft-serve ice cream, and milkshakes. Also, make sure you try our Chester's Fried Chicken. Go Time, where the customer always comes first. Refuel your tank, refill your cup, and refresh your taste buds all in one stop at Go Time.
Jackson Electric and Plumbing Supply in Jackson, Kentucky is proud to serve Breathitt, Lee, Wolf, Morgan, Owsley, Perry, and Madison counties. Established in 1982 with over 40 years of service to those communities, Jackson Electric and Plumbing Supply can not only meet your electric and plumbing needs, but also heating and cooling, concrete and metal septic tanks, as well as your special orders. Call Scott and the gang today at 606-666-4052.
Variety Pizza. Family owned and operated, serving the community with homemade and handcrafted pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more for over 45 years. Located at 1189 Main Street, Jackson, Kentucky. Available for dine-in and carry-out, with private party spaces available. Stop by and visit us or call 606-666-5454.
All right, folks, we are back here at the Mike Oakham Athletic Complex as we were talking in the pregame. Bobcats hosting the powerhouse defending state championship from Class 1A last year, the Pikeville Panthers. Coach McNamee and his Panthers ready to go. I tell you what, he's got a great group of athletes. The one thing that I may get smacked around for this, but the one thing I notice about Pikeville, and I know from playing youth football and middle school football and being around and playing a lot of those teams, Pikeville does a lot of kids from that county. So you may see a lot of kids that play for a Pike Central youth team or a Belfry youth team or a middle school team from somewhere else that all of a sudden are a star at Pikeville when they get into high school.
Pikeville's never had a problem fielding enough kids.
They were always a powerhouse. I remember playing years ago, and you go to Pikeville, and it was always, one of the best facilities. They've always had great, tax base and great things going on over there for those kids, and a great program. They developed these kids well, and it shows. They went down last year to Kroger Field and dominated in that Class 1A state championship. And I believe that is Mr. Anthony carrying the ball there for Pikeville. A young man does a great job. You'll see him at running back, and you'll see him on defense too. He flew all over the field during the state championship last year on defense, knocking down passes. And, when you're not busy doing that, they just hand you the ball and you rumble for about 40 right up the middle of the field, and he can do that. Anthony's a great player. He wears number 35, I believe, but I think tonight his jersey does not have a number. He just has a blank white jersey. Pikeville with, it looks like black pants with white jerseys and maroon numbers on most of the jerseys. That's Anthony pulling up the far tackle. I guess so, maroon pants, but they look dark from up here. And I'm getting older too, man. I got glasses, so you have to correct me sometimes when I'm wrong. Bobcats are in front of us, getting stretched out, getting ready to go. I tell you what, we got some young players on this team that's really going to make some people say wow this year, I do believe. Kids that got some minutes last year that really showed flashes of greatness. I tell you what, I've been real impressed with getting able to pick up some practices because, as a lot of people know, the practice field is redone here at Breathitt. So the middle school, the high school, and all of the lumberjack players have been sharing the ground over at SES over at the middle school field there at the track. Middle school on half of the field, high school on the other half, and us lumberjacks, we just need some green grass. We just jump in there anywhere we can and have some practice right next door to the track. And usually they're finishing up and we're going on the field. But I tell you what, it's been nice. I talked about it with Casey Allen the other night. It's been really nice to see the future, the present, and you talk about the past, all the coaches over on that field. It's been really nice for the last 2 to 3 weeks to be over there and see all that football going on. Just a group of guys all ready to go. And you talk about a brotherhood. You start looking at the little kids from the 3rd grade all the way up to seniors in high school. And a lot of these high school guys will come over and they'll work with the kids, talk to the kids, and help them in drills and give them a pat on the back. And that goes a long way, especially in a young program.
That's what I was going to say is a lot of these young kids, they really idolize some of these high school players. Yeah. They really look up to them. So they're just by them being around and, promoting sports. It's a huge thing.
And Coach Chris McNamee and Coach Kyle Moore out at center field now talking with the referees. This is the part of the season. You have preseason baseball. They call it the Grapefruit League. When I think about preseason football and early on, I like to call this the Bucket Hat League. This is when all those bald coaches have to go out on the field with a bucket hat to keep our heads from getting sunburned.
Well, being out in the sun 6 to 8 hours at a time after it's not real friendly.
So this is the bucket hat league of football, preseason, if you will. We got this scrimmage here tonight, and we will also have a scrimmage next week. I don't know if we're carrying it, but I know that the Bobcats will have a scrimmage over in McGoffin County, I believe. I think they've got another team invited, not for sure who it is, but I know McGoffin and Breathitt and somebody else will tee up for a few 10-on-10 rounds over there in McGoffin County next Friday.
We've been in discussions with McGoffin County. We're not 100% sure we're going to go stream that yet, but we will let everyone know next week.
And then after that, there's some team in red and white supposed to come over and play us that first game.
I can't remember who they were.
I can't remember. I think they something about a pirate ship or something. I can't remember.
Sailing into the riverbank.
Yeah, something like that. So the Cats come to the line first for some offense. Big Evan Miller at center, and he's set. And Dylan Stacy will take the snap and give up inside to Jaden Gibby Gibson. And he'll plow forward for about 3 yards, maybe 2. So the offense for the Cats, that's play number 1. We'll try to go through the numbers on the jerseys and give everybody plenty of name time here on Bluegrass Sports Nation tonight. We're all about getting these kids coverage and talking about them. And we want you fans at home to know that we got a good showing out here in front of you. Big Chris Neese at tackle, Waylon Abner at one guard, Sawyer Hall at the other guard, and Jacob Parker at the opposite tackle. Give to Gibson again, and he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage as he's met by about 3 or 4 Panthers. And that is the young man, Anthony, that comes out of there with the tackle. I don't know how many tackles he had last year. I could go back through the stats here and tell you, but I tell you what, the young man does a great job, Brendan Anthony.
You can tell he's got a really high football IQ. He always seems to be where the ball's at.
Yeah, you look out on the field and he puts you in mind of somebody in the NFL, maybe just a little shorter, but you put a big neck roll on him and put him out there, and he looks like a force to be reckoned with. He's playing tackle here tonight for the Panthers. I think last year he played a little bit of linebacker. Here's the third play for the Cats. Stacy will take the snap, sets back. He's going to go down the middle of the field, throws the long ball out for Sperry, and dropped. Would have been about a 40-yard pass play, and Sperry had a couple of defenders on him. Ball was up, and one defender may have got a finger on it, but the ball falls out of Sperry's hands, incomplete. Play number 3, you didn't think it would take long for Kyle Moore to say, let's put it in the air.
Anytime you got Sperry in a jump ball situation,
I'm going to take him.
He had it fixed where if it broke, he'd fall back in the
goes on.
That quarterback guy, Coach Kyle Moore, he likes to throw the ball around a little bit. He did it in his time here on this field. Stacy waiting on the snap. Got Corey Combs off to his left. He's going to throw back to his right. Intended for Isaac Hill's turn, and caught and hit as soon as he caught and he dropped the ball to fall incomplete. Isaac didn't hit the ground. Pikeville comes up with another stop on a pass play. And it looks like John Carter Holland will come in for Corey Combs. Kind of, it's loose knit, coaches out on the field. You got 3 or 4 backups right there close with the coaches ready to go in, and there's it's a loose, it's kind of a flowing scrimmage. Not a lot of, you'll see some penalties, and I think you'll see some of the referees telling some of the guys, hey, you can't do that before they start throwing some flags. Snap back to Stacy. He'll roll out to his right. Short pass over to Brady. Brady Tincher going to reach forward. Great pass. He's spun away from the tackle, and he reaches forward. I would think that he would have picked up at least 7 or 8 yards on that pickup. We don't have chains. We don't have a chain crew out here for this. I think the referees are keeping down in distance. They've got a slew of refs here tonight. A lot of times in these scrimmages, KHSAA will also use these as training instances for referees. Give up inside to Caden Boland. Caden around the corner and out of bounds here on the Breathitt sideline. Ran out of bounds by number 15 of the Pikeville Panthers. So a little give that time to Caden Boland.
I'm saying this is a very loose-feeling game, but it's still good for the boys to get out there and kind of get that adrenaline pumping and seeing somebody not had to look at the last few months.
You're exactly right. At this time in practice, it's hot. You're tired of seeing that guy that you've practiced against for so long. And it's good to have somebody fresh out there to hit against. Give up inside to Jaden Gibson. He'll pick up about 3 or 4 on the play as Stacy turns, hands it off in the backfield. Continue to work out that rifle set. A lot of people will call it shotgun. A lot of people will call it different things, with single back usually on each side of Stacy. Rifle right or rifle left.
Hey, how you doing?
Stacy in the huddle now, calls the play. Look what a jam-packed offensive line the Bobcats are sporting this year. Probably one of the bigger lines we've had in a few years. Really expecting a lot of good things out of these guys. Stacy steps back, throws towards the sideline to an open Isaac Wills-Turner. Can't hold on to it as he was trying to keep from going out of bounds.
Lost track a little bit where he
had it.
Great effort on the play by Ike. We like to call him Ike here within the Bobcat realm. Isaac Wheels-Turner, he got that name Wheels as a young lumberjack, bouncing all over the field. And
I remember him back then. Good catch that.
he'd start left and end up right, go back down the middle, over to his left, over to the right again. Before you knew it, he's still in the end zone. So he got that name honestly. Backs to both sides of Stacy now as he takes a snap a little high. He's going to give to Bolin. Bolin up inside, and he's tackled by 2 Panthers. Maybe a pickup of a yard from the line of scrimmage for the Bobcats. Got to be getting close to that 10 play. I think we're on. Looked like he said 9 right then with his hands. Got to be getting close to that now. Bobcats have been able to move the ball down the field. Really, a couple of pass plays that just a little bit off, maybe on timing, a little bit of jitters, maybe a little bit of, it's a young season. First time they've played anybody, had any competition. So Stacy will walk up. Empty backfield. Gibson up in a stance, and he's going to take the pitch right off the backside of the line. Little screen, and maybe a pickup of a yard, and that'll switch it out. Cats and the Panthers, the first drive. Cats able to move the ball like we talked about. A couple of pass plays there really could have broke things wide open. Possibly one of them to score.
A few narrow misses there.
Answer my counterpart Eric here as he was trying to call. Shoot him a message. See where he's at. He was really looking forward to being here tonight. I hope he's on his way. So the Panthers come out and they'll line up, and we got a flag first play. Give in the backfield to Brendan Anthony as he came out of there. Lining up in that single back position in the Panthers. Coach McNair talking to his Panthers now. Obviously that call was against them. Our buddy Kyle Crisp down here to our right, working one of the cameras for the Cats. He said he wanted to send everybody a special message. He thought that the Bobcats were going to snack on danger and dine on death here in the year of 2023. Give again to Anthony. He's met at the line of scrimmage by a host of Bobcats. Talk about swarming to the football. Anthony met not once, twice, maybe 3 times with a good lick. And that gives a little bit of time for the rest of the team to get there. About 4 or 5 Cats in on the tackle.
One thing about the Bobcats, they got great speed at linebacker. So if the line can get them held up just enough, to be able to get there.
They're coming. Looks like we got Gabe Fugit anchoring the defense there at nose guard. And you've got Ethan Bowling over at one tackle. Corey Combs showing blitz. He'll meet the blocker inside. And once again, the Panthers able to pick up about 2 yards. I'm not for sure who that back is, number 15. We'll see if we got him on the roster, if he's got a correct number. But that's a new one on me. I got some names last night, thanks to Casey Allen and Brad Allen. We're going talking back and forth. Got a few names of some kids, but not numbers. I don't see 15 listed on this roster that I'm looking at, which doesn't mean he's not wearing the same number he was last year. Panthers go back to work, fake inside, or roll out, throw to Anthony. Anthony, big pickup of yards, good block by the Panthers, beats one man, and Anthony still on his feet as he shakes another defensive back, and finally taken down just short of the goal line by Wes Abner. Wesley Abner able to make it across the field. And I'm going to tell you right now, Matt, I couldn't see the number, but I knew the cleats. When I saw those beautiful teal green cleats, I knew that was Wesley Abner. So a big pickup out of the little play action pass that time as the Panthers able to roll out, dump it off to Anthony. And Anthony, you can see how dangerous of a back Brendan Anthony is for the Panthers. He's lined up now directly behind. The quarterback will now move to his left. Single back give to Anthony up inside. Around the tackle, he's dragging two cats and maybe a pickup of a yard. Tolson and Isaac Wheels Turner in on the tackle.
Arm tackle's not going to cut it.
No, you got to get low and be squared up on him. That's for sure. I was noticing here in front of us is technology that we have here on the sideline as Coach Casey Allen and some of the other coaches able to meet with the offensive line and go back and look at the series, the last 10 plays, and have it right in front of them and say, hey, this is what we did right, this is what we did wrong. Quarterback rolls out to his left. Pass almost knocked down, but it'll be caught. I believe that's Anthony over to the left side of the field. Challenged out of there by Braxton Terry. Terry right in the face of the quarterback. Almost knocked that one down. That's a young man that you're going to hear a lot about this season, I believe. I think Terry's going to get a lot of chances to beat the blocker and get back here on the quarterback. So Pikeville able to get down the field, probably 6-7 plays, and able to get into the end zone. Just a phenomenal offense for Pikeville. You look at the quarterback and you look at Anthony and some of the skill players that they have. Really, one of those teams that is so dangerous. They can do so much from so many different positions, and so many kids that play different positions that are very versatile when it comes to offense and defense. You talk about Brendan Anthony playing both sides of the ball, and there's so much that he can do. I hope that I'm giving the right person credit. I suspect that that's him that's been all over the field without having a number on. I'm not for sure, but
definitely built.
Built just like him. So Pikeville will come back now to the 50-yard line. And
number 15 for Pikeville is Tavion Boykins.
Tavion Boykins, all right. So that time, Anthony tries to break it out to the left to pick up about 5 yards, maybe 6, depending on the mark. And we got some people coming in. You'll see Bowling and Terry coming off the field, and we got Carson Miller and Braylon Thomas in the game for the Cats. I tell you, we can switch out a couple players and not miss a beat. Braylon Thomas, a young guy on the Cats, one of the strongest players on the team. The guy's just built of muscle. Give to Boykins. Boykins will bring it around the right end. He's got blockers. Little end around. Still on his feet, not taken down. One guy had him. He gets away. Pick up of another about 3 yards, and the Cats finally bring him down.
People just standing around there.
And Terry's going to go right back into the game. And he'll go into the game for, looks like they brought him in for Tincher. So Braxton Terry will be back at linebacker now on this left side. Tolson, Corey Combs, and Terry out there. Terry actually going to walk out and be a bandit. Pass, quarterback rolls out, throws short over to Boykins. Boykins collects the pass, and Wesley Abner there to run him out of bounds.
That was on that play 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Also in on that tackle was number 1, Kylan Combs. We're going to hear that name a lot too here in this Breathitt County defense this year in 2023.
That name for a few years.
He's going to be heard every Friday night now, that's for sure. young man gets an opportunity to go on the field, I think he's going to be one of the players that makes a difference. Age and size does not matter to a player with a heart like Kylan Combs.
It's good to see the versatility of the Bobcats. They've had some of the same players on the line, backing down on the linebacker.
Yeah, playing different roles. And this time we'll see Terry split way out on defense out here at Rover. Give up inside, taken down immediately by Colson. Colson in a tackle for a loss on Brendan Anthony in the backfield. Yeah, the technology is great. I mean, you think about having a big screen TV on the sideline and your coach able to pull up the last 10 plays and say, why did you do this? Don't do it again.
Yeah, that's some cool technology they got running right now. As they video it up here, they can send it down to the field and break it down play by play.
It's a big help because, you know, film never lies, and usually it was the next week before we got to watch film. And it's not a lot of fun to mess up like that in front of all your counterparts, especially when the coach is there asking you why you did it. And hopefully this year, Casey's going to get to tell them, hey, you guys did that right. You're doing a lot of things right up front. A great looking line. Here goes the Panthers. The big front. Empty back set. He's going to go deep to the end zone. And two defenders over there were Kylan Combs and Alex Strong. And pass batted down. So that pass incomplete for the Panthers. Defense coming off the field. And we'll see the offense for the Bobcats go back onto the field for their next set of 10. So the Panthers working hard that time. Come up in the end zone once out of those 10 plays. Went deep that time on the last one, and the Cats able to knock it down. Great defense that time by Alex Strong and Kylan Combs. Yeah, that's going to be handy. You know, any of the coaching staff, just like Ryan Cox working with the DBs, any of those plays, they can go back and pull up and be able to show the guys and say, hey, this is what you need to work on. This is where you need to make the cut. This is where you need to stay at home. You know, why weren't you doing this? Why weren't you doing that? That type of thing. It gives coaches a real tool to use here on the sideline to coach up the players and keep their head in the game, maybe tell them what to look for, what to do better next play.
It's kind of like an eye in the sky. You know, it said if you're on field level, there's some things you can miss. So having the view from up here and seeing where the holes are and who's cutting what makes a big difference for the coaches.
Well, as a young player, you know, one of the key things is being able to pick up on your opponent's tendencies and things that they tend to do every play. And sometimes it's those tendencies that can help teams win ball games when you can pick up on somebody doing something, maybe cheating inside, and you're able to get outside of them for 2-3 yards and break a big run. Steve Thomas on the sideline as a referee here tonight. Coach Steve Thomas to me. Cats come up with about, I wanted to say maybe 2 yards, but looked like they made him at the line of scrimmage. The ball actually back behind the 50 right now. Snap from Miller back to Stacy. Stacy drops. Great protection, plenty of time, throws across the middle. Looking for Isaac Wills Turner and just overthrew him a little bit. Still working on the timing.
In practice, you get those free releases.
Yeah.
Out here, you get bumped a few times and throws the timing.
And I tell you what, it's hard to lead Wheels. Isaac's can get out in front of the ball real quick. That time Dylan just let him a little bit too much. Isaac couldn't get to it. Pass falls incomplete, and we're up to play number 3 here for the Cats. So far, the offensive line's done a pretty good job. Great pass protection that time. Got Tincher and John Carter Holland. Wide outs here in front of us, just to Stacy's right. Center back is Caden Bowen. Little dump screen play to Caden Bowen, across the middle. Gets one block. And maybe pick up of about 3 yards. Maybe 4 from where the ball was spotted. So a good run, little screen play by Caden Bowen. Counterpart Eric Collins
Is in the building.
is in the house.
We can start now.
Thank you, defender. Thank you.
We've just been sitting
Well, we've
here
been sitting here we've just been sitting here talking, answering people's questions online, stuff like that. Now, folks, we'll get started now that Eric's here.
Let's get the show on the road.
I couldn't answer you a minute ago, huh?
That's all right. I'd like to apologize for being late. I had to stop at Maylaw's on the way over here, and they were in their garden getting some stuff in. When they ask you if you want some, there's only one correct answer. Why, yes, I'd love some.
And then you got to pick it.
Yep.
Good cut there by Caden.
Another play that time to Bowling, and Bowling getting up a little gimpy. Able to walk back to the huddle. We'll see if he'll stay in. I think he's just cramping up. Maybe need to stretch out a little bit.
A day like this, there's probably going to be some cramping issues.
He was on the bottom of the pile, so he may have gotten a cleave or a helmet or an elbow in a muscle. Corey Combs and Jaden Gibson. Actually, Combs is out on this play, so Gibson single back. Stacy will sit back plenty of time. Chris Neese is chasing after a blocker. Ball tipped from Wheels. Will go into the hands of Boykins. Chris Neese trying to get after that defender. Trying to chase him away from the quarterback as Stacy was forced out of the pocket that play.
I couldn't see where.
Yeah,
well, we ain't got a good.
Looking on the positive, good mobility there. He had the right read down the field, just the ball settled on him a little bit.
Stacy with a couple of real nice throws here early in the game. I think he's going to settle in there at the quarterback position. I think he'll be one of these players that really surprises a lot of folks because didn't really expect to see Dillon playing quarterback. Great wide receiver last year until he had that shoulder injury. Braxton Terry now out here to wide out with John Carter Holler. And Stacy will throw to his left over the outreached arm of Isaac Turner.
Well, sometimes the simplest throws like that can be the most difficult. On the screen passes.
One thing most people don't notice is the field is sloped. So when you're standing in the middle of the field, it kind of goes downhill.
Yeah.
You throw a straight pass, a lot of it's going to sail over.
Yeah, the Bobcats field does have a nice crown up here.
Well, they've done a little work to it. It looks a little better, and had some repair work going on to this and the game field after the flooding of last year. Stacy single back to his right. His Combs. Stacy will sit back. He's forced out of the pocket. He's going to keep it and get out of bounds on the Pikeville sideline back to the line of scrimmage. Hard to say line of scrimmage without the chains up, so I'm just, I think I'm close.
It looks like he's going to be a mobile quarterback, able to evade and escape some pressure that comes up.
He is. He's got good agility. That time you watch Chris Neese put his guy on the ground, and the young man rolled and jumped back up. Very agile defensive end for tackle, actually, for the Panthers. And Matt and I were talking earlier, Eric, about this Panther Ball Club. Such a versatile group. So many great guys on offense, and they're going to call the number on defense, too. So they'll get it honest. Give up inside to Gibson. Gets past the first tackle. Maybe a pickup of a yard, maybe two.
There's some good penetration there by the Panthers on the defensive line.
Now that end came unblocked from that right side and almost got giddy early. But Jaden able to get past the first tackler and past the line of scrimmage before he's gobbled up by a linebacker. Offensively, we got Ogans in now at the tackle for Jacob Parker. Braxton Terry still in as a wideout. Stacy going to roll out. Got a man on him, and Crystal will blow the play dead for a sack would have been recorded in a regular game.
Yeah, good job by the Panthers there getting the man up the field. He came unblocked. If that had been a live play, it would have been a bad situation for Dillon right there.
Yeah, Pikeville, we talked about earlier, Breathitt County
on the field.
Not holding any punches back this year on the schedule.
No.
Starting out first scrimmage of the year against defending 1A state championship We want to get some. We want to get it early. We're going to find out where we stand. Once again, Stacy sits back in the pocket, throws across the middle of the field, picked off by the Panthers. Pass intended for Caden Bowling as he was cutting across the middle of the field. Panthers there to pick that one off, and I think that was play number 10 anyway. We're going to switch things out. So the 2 series of offense by the varsity ball club here for the Bobcats. We had a couple of great opportunities in that first series, Matt, that we didn't end up with a touchdown. Just a drop pass and a long ball that fell through the hands of Sperry. It might have been tipped by one of the defenders. A couple of opportunities there that we could have got points on the board in the game.
I think once Stacy kind of settles in the season, it'll be a lot better. Most of his passes have been a little bit over wheels. Just a little much on it. Defense
back out on the field for the Cats. Give to Anthony. Anthony gobbled up by 3 Cats after a pickup of about 7, maybe 8. Brendan Anthony, just a stud of a workhorse for the Panthers.
You know, it doesn't really matter with the 10-play format that they're using. That was a 10th play, but that wasn't a clean catch there on the interception by the Panthers on the last.
Yeah, you're right. He was on the ground. Ball was looked to be loose when he did hit the ground. So,
but all the, to their credit, none of the referees had the proper angle to make that ball.
Man in motion for the Panthers, send it back to the right. He'll sit back, quick throw to Boykins back here. Little screen play. Boykins gets away from one defender down the sideline. Tolson and Isaac Wheels Turner. Boykins able to get by both of them as he waltzes into the end zone. Boykins with some speed for the Panthers. And that'll be the second score that the Panthers have been able to put on the board. Young man's got some moves. Tolson and Isaac Wheels Turner both in tow that time. Looked like he possibly could have made the tackle around the 5, maybe the 8-yard line, and Boykins able to shake them and head into the end zone. So great speed and great moves and some great athletes here for this Pikeville Panthers club.
Morgan's been doing a good job of leaking out into the flats and those short crossing patterns, just making himself available.
We always talk about shining stars at halftime at the end of the game, and so far Boykins and Anthony for Pikeville would have been 2 of the names that we've called both, offense and defense. Both of them been all over the field. Quarterback takes the snap, gives again in the backfield to Anthony, chased by Ethan Bowling, taken down behind the line of scrimmage by 2 or 3 Cats. Anthony, a lot of north and south running in this scrimmage so far. That time a lot of east and west.
Yeah, that's what you like to see out of your defense all around. You like to see them stringing the play out and everybody flying to the football. That was good team defense right there. Nicely defended.
That was a good lead in by his counterpart too. See how I done that east and west? I knew he'd jump out on that.
Lead him to water.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Folks, I don't, if you guys haven't listened to us much last year, if maybe you're listening from Pikeville or watching us here, Bluegrass Sports Nation, it's like me and Eric played together on the line. This is like we're eating popcorn sitting in a recliner every time we're watching a football game. So you're going to get some of the best commentary you've ever heard. ESPN has nothing on us. Another tackle in the backfield by the defense of the Cats. Swarming to the ball. Terry, Bowling, and probably Corey Combs as you see him coming from that direction. All 3 of those guys eating it up inside as Braylon Thomas and Ogans will come into the game for the Cats, and Fugit and Bowling will come out. John Carter Holland now number 4 going in, and I think you'll see Isaac Turner coming off. He'll get a breather. Let John Carter play some defense. Pikeville lined up 3 receivers to the right. Single back also to the right. Quarterback rolls right. Looking down the field, throws across the middle. And Kylan Combs with an opportunity to break on the ball. Ball thrown away from the receivers.
Looks like some confusion on that play there by the Pikeville receiver side.
The quarterback and the routes weren't on the same page in the playbook that time, just a little bit off.
That's why you have these scrimmages early on, so you can kind of see where you're at. what we still need to work on, what corrections need to be made. Do the Bobcats have another scrimmage before?
Well, we were talking. I think next week, next Friday, they go to McGoffin County, and I think it's meant to be a 3-team rumble, if you will. McGoffin, Breathitt, and I'm not for sure who else will be over there, but I heard them talking about it. So there'll be another scrimmage. Not for sure if BSN will be covering that one yet.
Yeah, so we're still talking to them. We've been assured there's internet up there, but we're still trying to work out the details. We'll let everyone know next week if we're going to be up there as a 3 number.
You'll see it on our Facebook page, folks. We'll be sure and get the information out there and let you know that we're going to be there. Or not. Maybe, may not. Nice offensive line there for about good size, about maybe a couple guys on the line for Pikeville bigger than our guards. Quarterback rolls out. He's going to keep it. Gets by 2, and they're going to blow him dead because it was a quarterback. I don't think they want to give him the opportunity to get a lick laid on him early.
No, I like that. I think there's no reason to get anybody hurt at this point in the season.
I'll tell you what, we haven't talked a lot about the quarterback, Isaac Doody. Doody last year able to take Pikeville to Kroger Field. I can't think of a better venue to say that you've gotten some experience in your career. So Doody back for another season here for Pikeville at quarterback, doing a great job. He's got great length, good height. He can see the field. There you see the short pass over to the left, and the Panthers able to pick up at least another probably 7-8 yards with that pass play. Carson Miller on the field as a tackle right now. I think we've got Ogans. And I'm trying to see who the number is on the other one on the other side. Not sure who we got over there. Might be Jacob Parker. No, that's Braden Thomas on the other end. John Carter Holland, Brady Tincher, Braden Barnett, Jason Tolson. Give in the middle of Anthony. Anthony going to bounce it off the line. He's around the corner, and he takes a hit from Colin Combs and goes down. Getting a little chippy out there on the field. You kind of feel it, you know, these guys probably feeling like, well, our series is about over. JV's going to come on the field shortly. Let's get a few words in while we're out here. Make these guys remember we were here.
Well, that's just what you call playing through the whistle.
Yep. Caden Bowling and Wesley Abner and Jaden Gibson also on the field for the defense, trying to get everybody's name called, make sure our fans at home know they're there. Duty with a fake. It's going to come back, throw it short, and Pikeville receiver able to shake one defender and make the move and pick up probably 15+ yards on that play.
They were looking for one more score right there, but it wasn't open, so he had to hit the short receiver.
And he was getting close, and they went for it, tried it, and he made a little shake and bake, made a guy miss. Defenders for the Cats able to make the stop, and it will be the offense for the Bobcats back onto the field as that 10-play series for Pikeville comes to an end. We're going to take a quick break, folks. We'll go to commercial, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I'm still here, David.
At People's Bank, our vision is to be the best community bank in America. We pride ourselves in being a community bank that builds relationships with our clients and offers cutting-edge financial products. For 120 years, People's Bank has focused on helping clients achieve their financial goals. We would love a chance to earn your business. People's Bank, working together, building success.
Go Time is a locally owned and operated convenience store that has all your wants and needs in one stop. We have everything from quick snacks and cold drinks, a full-service deli, fresh coffee bar, soft-serve ice cream, and milkshakes. Also, make sure you try our Chester's Fried Chicken. Go Time, where the customer always comes first. Refuel your tank, refill your cup, and refresh your taste buds all in one stop at Go Time.
Offensive line back on the field for the Cats, and offensively we have added Corey Watkins, Braxton Terry, John Carter Holland also on the field. Terry going to go to the left side. Backs get set, give inside to Corey Combs. Corey rumbling, ball comes out, covered up by the Cats. You don't see that very often from Corey Combs. Must have been a good lick. Helmet on the ball, ball came flying out. Bobcats able to cover it up. That would have been a fumble and a fumble recovery that time by the Cats.
Corey was running with some effort right there. I believe he hit about as hard as he got hit, but like I said, I believe the helmet just landed on the ball.
Broke through that line of scrimmage really well. Holland and Terry wide outs in front of us, and I believe that's Sperry and Isaac Turner to the opposite side. And A.D. Johnson in the game throws the pass intended for Gibson out of the backfield, and it's going to be interception for the Pikeville Panthers. So we got A.D. now in at quarterback, giving Stacy a little break. A little JV action for some of the skilled kids and some of the guys that may not see a lot of game time or a full game, get to time here in the scrimmage to show their efforts and what they've been working on in practice.
Yeah, it's a great time to take advantage of the opportunity to get everybody on the field in a game-type situation, because you never know. You may have to see some actual game time. So
Terry comes out of the scrimmage, and Brady Tincher goes in. Snap that time through the hands. Is that A.D. that was in there that time? Yeah, A.D. Johnson. Snap went through his hands that time, unable to control it. I saw number 5. That was Caden Bowling in the huddle. I was thinking he might have interjected Eli Crisp there for a minute just to see what he can do. Give from Johnson up inside to Caden Bowling. Bowling lowering his shoulder and rumbling through the line of scrimmage. Good pick up at at least 4 or 5 yards that time for Bowling.
yeah, that's a good push up front by the Bobcats.
This, you said a lot about minutes for the younger guys and a great opportunity, and it really is, because A.D.'s a player that really needs just a vote of confidence for him to get on the field and play against somebody other than his own team and to be able to scrimmage somebody else. And it's not just somebody else. It's the Class 1A defending state champion, Pikeville Panthers. So great minutes for A.D. to be able to get in the game. Give this time to Braden Barnett. Braden Barnett around the right end, and he's going to pick up 6, 7, 8 yards. Good offensive set that time. Good run by Barnett, and A.D. handled the snap and the handoff. Good handoff.
Yeah, things are just a little bit chippy out there.
Well, some of these guys get it honest. It's not. I'm gonna tell you something. This Bobcat team, they got a little bit of an attitude, and you kind of like that as a football coach. Some of these guys come onto the field, I mean business, and there's been a few years that we've lacked that. This bunch has got some drive, and there's nobody going to beat on their counterpart and their brother, and they're going to do the best they can, and they're going to stick up for each other. We witnessed that down at the 7-on-7 a couple of weeks ago too down at EKU. Good pickup of yards that time by Jaden Gibson, number 9.
Yeah, I wish I could have been more like that. I think I was a little too gentle when I played.
Just a gentle giant. You were always quiet, never said anything to anybody. You just left them laying when you got done. You never offered to pick them up. Did I say that?
But you're right. You do like to see the team come out there with.
And you got to give it to Pikeville too.
Yeah, they have the right to have it.
They're the state champions. So yeah, you got to have a little bit of that attitude. You got to have a guy that can turn it on when he steps onto the field and still say yes sir and no sir when he comes off the field. We got a good group of kids out here. think we got an overload set. Maybe right now I see Carson Miller. Almost looked like he was, no, I guess he is out there attacking.
I reckon they're going to have a heavy set again this year.
I'd say we will.
It was a successful time last year.
Very successful.
Breathitt's got some good-looking linemen out there. They were able to do a good job a lot of times. I don't know what the first drive-through looked like because obviously I was late, but I know we lined up in the shotgun every time so far. I know last year we lined up over center team in the wristband.
We've not shown anything in the scrimmage other than the rifle set. AD rolls out, throws, nice pass, caught by John Carter Holland. A great play that time for A.D. Johnson as he rolled out, settled in, made the pass to John Carter.
Yeah, well done. Nice throw on the run there.
I'll tell you what, look out. If John Carter gets some green grass in front of him, I was watching him do kickoff return the other night over to SES, and Carter was a return man, and I'm telling you what, he can get out of there fast.
Just takes a little hold. He's gone.
Carson Miller has stepped in at center. Give Big E a break up in front. Big E going to get some snaps here with Austin Sperry behind all the action. So Carson Miller with some time at center. He does a great job no matter where they put him at. He can play tackle, he can play defense. Still got Waylon Abner and Sawyer Hall at guards, and you've got Parker and Chris Neese. Long ball down the middle of the field. Johnson intended for Alex Strong. Great ball by AD, and Alex just not able to get under it. Maybe 2 or 3 yards out in front of him.
Yeah, you got to make sure. I mean, obviously, I never had this issue. I never ran any routes, but I know that you got to run
timing
through the whole thing.
Timing is everything. Braxton Terry in playing some tight end. Corey Watkins in. Corey Combs. And Caden Bowen. And Alex Strong. Backs each side. Give to Bowen. He's got Corey Combs out in front of him as a blocker. Caden makes a turn, makes a one-man miss. And he'll go down up around the 15-yard line. Good run by Caden that time. Had some blockers out in front of him.
Yeah, that was well executed. They blocked well at the point of attack and then got downfield in the second level and blocked well also.
Yeah, the Cats, Eric, early on, I don't expect us to show a lot in these scrimmages that we might have been working on in practice. So far, we've been predominantly in the rifle set, no under center, if you will, like we seen last year in the wishbone. But I'm sure there's some options out there that, that Kyle Moore, I bet he's a heck of a poker player. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure about poker, but he's a pretty good offensive guy. He can drop a nice play.
It's way too early to show his hand.
Yeah, they've been running the things that they're known for, like the red and butter stuff. I'm sure they have some things in the playbook they're holding for a special time.
Folks, I'll do my best here to give you the correct names. We got some JV players coming in now on defense. I know we got Braylon Thomas. He'll be anchoring one of those tackles. I think that's Big Hoss Stamper in there at nose guard. And Ethan, I think that's Ethan Bowen back out at the other tackle. He played a lot in that first series. He's back out. And Pike was JV. Offense is in. Quarterback going to give inside and will be tackled right around the line of scrimmage. He's stopped early. Cody Bird in at a linebacker. And who else we got?
Braden Barnett.
Braden Barnett. Eli Crisp. John Carter Holland. Who am I missing? So the Pikeville offense come out with 2 receivers each side, single back to his left, give inside, right up the middle, bounces off the lineman there at the line of scrimmage, gets into that linebacker area, and he's brought down by a number of Bobcats. Talking about number 58 there earlier, Braylon Thomas, one of the strongest young guys that I've seen go through Breathitt High School. Just young man he's just muscle.
He looks it from here, right?
And he can really get down and dirty for you. He's played tackle. He's been in the backfield in middle school. Now he's playing defensive end, tackle. He can play end. He played defensive end in middle school. He's somebody that's going to manhandle whoever's in front of him and get to the football. Right there you see him trailing. Kylan Combs breaks the tackle, and Braylon Thomas there to finish it off. Cody Bird, Braden Barnett, Ethan Bowling. I think that is Nipper there, number 80.
You know, in scrimmages like this, you're looking for things like effort. It's, the little things like, and I can say both these teams are doing it. They're both playing through the whistle, playing hard. Like we talked about earlier, a little bit cheapy, a little bit of an attitude, but that really just kind of shows confidence.
It does.
We don't really want to go beyond that into cockiness, but maybe sometimes you do. But you want your players to feel confident in themselves. And both these teams look like they're confident in their ability.
Give the number 2 around the corner and pick up probably a first down in a regular game series. Number 2, the running back for the Panthers. Also on the field is Patrick Trumbo. He's wearing number 24 tonight, so we may have a number change on him. He's last year he wore 57, but he's in there playing linebacker beside of Colby Bird. I think I've got everybody that's out there now.
You're going to have to let me take that roster over. Those names
Well, it's the hard. Oh, nice catch. Number 23, the Panthers. Quarterback rolls out, throws to his right, and a diving catch made by the Panthers. Pick up another great pickup of yards, probably another first down. It's hard. That's me and Matt were talking earlier. It's hard to know what kind of roster and what you're going to end up with in a scrimmage like this. And Braxton and I both went back and watched film on Pikeville in the playoff state championship in semi-state just to kind of give an idea of some different numbers and some guys that we knew that played but didn't know the number. And even being a Bobcat fan, it's hard to know all these guys' numbers, especially coming on to a new season. Little shake and bake and made a move there by number 12, receiver by the Panthers, and able to get past, or that's 17, number 17, able to get past a couple of defenders and then finally brought down. Panthers moving the ball well. This JV team looking good up front and in the skill area. I think they've replaced all their linemen up front too, so good looking bunch.
Yeah, these Panthers are a good looking ball team. They've got some good looking athletes out there, and so do the Bobcats. And looking forward for the regular season to get started this week. Like you mentioned, rosters and things, kind of see what we've got.
Now that Eric's here, you can probably remind me and Matt, there's somebody coming over here the first game. They're red and white. I can't, it seemed like something about a pirate ship or something. I can't remember what they're.
I thought it was
about who it was.
Belfry Bats, I think Pirates.
Oh, it's Belfry. Okay. Well, I have to look in on them. I don't know a lot about them. I'll have to check in on them.
I heard they play some football over that way.
New program, or they've been around a while?
Somebody said something about Pond Creek. I couldn't remember.
So, in all seriousness now, they've got some big boys over there, some tough ones, just like we've got here. That'll be a great game. When I saw that on the schedule, Rob, I got excited.
Belfry's always got a great football team. They're always big up front.
I like
discipline.
They're a well-coached team.
2 words, Philip Haywood.
Enough said.
Braylon Thomas coming off the field for the Cats. Now we got to poke a little fun at our friends over at Belfry. Some of them may be watching, so big shout out to those guys. We've been battling them in youth football for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's good to see that We finally come up with a game in the varsity level here for the high schools to be able to play one another. It's been a while since we've been able to tee it up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I've got to say, I was excited when I saw the schedule.
Well, speaking of schedules, I mean, Kyle Moore didn't hold any punches this year. Can you say RPI? We're not going to have any problem with an RPI this year, playing the Johnson Centrals, the Belfrys, Letcher, Danville, Somerset, which of course are in our district now. And you can't leave Hazard and Prairie Central out of that mix. You know, you've got both of them still on the schedule. So
the Bobcats, they've got the work cut out for them this year.
Very interesting district with Breathitt, Leslie, Somerset, and Danville. I'm sorry. You could put all four of those names in a hat and draw them out any year.
Yeah, those are some tough programs right there. There will be some exciting games this year. I'm really looking forward to watching these Bobcats get on the field against these teams.
Panthers back to work on offense. Give up inside to number 2, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage by Dawson Hayes. Big dude making the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Number 61 gets a high five from Papa Fudd.
You know, and I do like what Coach Conway is doing with the schedule. I mean, you need to let your boys know what it feels like to be in those type of games. I remember in 95, our first state championship season, we opened with Ryle and
Pigskin Classic.
That was a tough game. Played Lincoln County right here in the Honey Bowl. They were really good at the time. We got some challenges right off the bat. I think that sets the tone for us. We were able to come together as a team and overcome that. It did a lot for us moving forward.
It sure did. We're going to take a quick commercial break, folks, and we'll be right back here on Bluegrass Sports Nation.
Jackson Electric and Plumbing Supply in Jackson, Kentucky is proud to serve Breathitt, Lee, Wolf, Morgan, Owsley, Perry, and Madison counties. Established in 1982 with over 40 years of service to those communities, Jackson Electric and Plumbing Supply can not only meet your electric and plumbing needs, but also heating and cooling, concrete and metal septic tanks, as well as your special orders. Call Scott and the gang today at 606-666-4052.
Variety Pizza. Family owned and operated, serving the community with homemade and handcrafted pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more for over 45 years. Located at 1189 Main Street, Jackson, Kentucky. Available for dine-in and carry-out, with private party spaces available. Stop by and visit us or call 606-666-5454.
PDQ Sales and Services, formerly known as Jackson Wholesale Company, is a locally owned and operated convenience store and grocery store supplier with a full line of products. They have ice cream, groceries, meat, dairy, candy, and more. They even have janitorial supplies including Tactical Strike disinfectant. Tactical Strike has been approved by the EPA to kill the virus that causes COVID-19. Give PDQ a call today at 606-666-2495.
Family and hometown pharmacies have been serving Breathitt County for over 20 years and are proud to support our local athletes. They are hometown owned and operated by Portia and Everett Dunaway. Portia and Everett want you to know that family and hometown pharmacies are here for you. Give them a call today at 606-666-5519 or 606-666-5500.
At People's Bank, our vision is to be the best community bank in America. We pride ourselves in being a community bank that builds relationships with our clients and offers cutting-edge financial products. For 120 years, People's Bank has focused on helping clients achieve their financial goals. We would love a chance to earn your business. People's Bank, working together, building success.
Go Time is a locally owned and operated convenience store that has all your wants and needs in one stop. We have everything from quick snacks and cold drinks, a full-service deli, fresh coffee bar, soft-serve ice cream, and milkshakes. Also, make sure you try our Chester's Fried Chicken. Go Time, where the customer always comes first. Refuel your tank, refill your cup, and refresh your taste buds all in one stop at Go Time.
Jackson Electric and Plumbing Supply in Jackson, Kentucky is proud to serve Breathitt, Lee, Wolf, Morgan, Owsley, Perry, and Madison counties. Established in 1982 with over 40 years of service to those communities, Jackson Electric and Plumbing Supply can not only meet your electric and plumbing needs, but also heating and cooling, concrete and metal septic tanks, as well as your special orders. Call Scott and the gang today at 606-666-4052.
Brendan Miller, he's here too.
Got a hiccup there on the computer side. Oh, you heard that apart?
Bluegrass Sports Nation bringing you the coverage. First half of the scrimmage between the defending 1A state champion Pikeville Panthers and the host Breathitt Bobcats has come to a close. And what you'll see now is a more of a game type format. There won't be any 10 plays from the 50. We're going to line up and we're going to play 11 on 11 football, and if it's an interception or a fumble recovery, that's what it is. It's going to be a turnover on downs or a interception, and it'll be a game type format with chains. We've got a chain crew down in distance, and we'll play 100 yards. It's kind of like going from a half-court basketball game to a full court. Hey, we got enough players, let's go full court. So we're going to line up now that the fun stuff is about to happen. Talk about the coaching staff here for the Bobcats. Of course, everybody knows Kyle Moore, and we picked at him a little bit, talking about his poker face, trying to hide some offense here tonight.
I like his hat.
I do too. You weren't here for this part of the discussion. You know, in baseball, it's called the Grapefruit League through preseason in major leagues. Well, this is in preseason football. I had determined that this is the bucket hat season. When the ball coaches have to wear the bucket hat or the brimmed hat to keep the old noggin covered.
Well, I'd be one of them if I was out there.
Me and Matt.
Feels like it's a little lopsided. I only see one on Pikeville side, but we've got quite a few over here.
We've been pulling our hair out, man. We'll talk about the coaching staff. Kyle Moore, Shorty Combs, and you got Ryan Cox, Bud Hayes, Casey Allen, Justin Combs. Who am I missing? Josh Barnett, Darrell Deaton, Jeremy Moore. The list, it's a long one, and there's a lot of people involved in making things happen for the Cats. I'll give a shout out to Larry Turner down on the sideline, a guy that volunteers his time and is always here to take care of these boys equipment-wise, water, making the field look sharp. There's just so many people involved to make things go the right way for this young ball player.
Well, you said it there. It takes a lot of people to be involved in the program. That's something we're blessed with. There's a lot of people that want to be involved and see the Bobcats be successful.
So Shorty Combs blows the whistle, and the kickoff by the Panthers is going to be fielded in the back by Caden Boland, right up the middle of the field, and we're going to blow it dead. I guess that was probably an uncontested top kickoff, as you would see in a younger game. A lot of times in sixth grade games, we'll kick off and really not contest it. We'll kick it off, give the kicker a chance, get somebody to receive it, and then we'll just spot it at the 35. And that's probably what that was, just to keep people safe in this scrimmage. Caden Boland looked like he was shot out of that cannon, man. Came up the middle of the field and had some green grass in front of him.
Yeah, he looked like he was the only one that didn't know that wasn't true.
He just warming up his cleats, man. Making sure he had his shoes tied. So Shorty Combs blew the whistle to get everything started, and now we got the referees on the field, so we'll get things going here.
That nose got Brian Napier in here.
Yep. The man, the myth, the spud. Brian Napier. Kyle's telling Brian right now, hey, Shorty just went ahead and blowed the whistle. Y'all wasn't out here. We did the kickoff. And now we can run some plays since y'all are out here. Hey, they might have been getting some free popcorn or a chili dog or something. They've worked hard too.
I meant to ask you, do we get a discounted concession stand, Rob?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
We should.
I don't know.
Let's ask Mr. Moore about that.
You think Lisa Gross will give us something?
I don't know. We'd have to ask real nice.
Well, my better half was down there earlier, but she's back here behind me now, so I know I probably wouldn't.
You missed the boat.
Yeah, I done wasted my chance on getting anything free to eat. And Stacy going to sit back behind that line. He fakes inside to Gibson. Gibson going to roll out. Stacy flushed out of the pocket. He was looking deep. He's going to tuck it and go to the sideline.
Yeah, I think he had Sperry if he had got it out of his hand just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
That's something that's going to come to him as the season progresses. He's going to have confidence in what he sees and reads, and he's going to let that ball fly. And I think there will be some big plays for the Bobcats this year.
So it'll be 2nd down and 5, pickup of about 5 yards after he tucked it. And like you said earlier, he's versatile. He's going to be able to move. He'll be able to get out of some situations that arise. 3 backs to the right now for Stacy, or 3 wideouts. Going to be given up inside to Gibson. And Gibson going to get past the line of scrimmage, maybe a pickup of a yard, depending on where they spot the ball.
You know, with Dylan Stacy's versatility, there might be some wrinkles coming later in the run. There might be some RPOs, might be some option. They might just run him because he's got that ability. He brings it to the offense.
Gibby Gibson going to get a breather as Caden Bowling comes back into the game. Caden looked really good in the early part of this scrimmage. We haven't said a whole lot about Jaden Gibson, but Jaden Gibson came onto the scene last year as a freshman. Really surprised some people. And Caden Bowling got his swallowed up as soon as he got the handoff by a young man. I think we mentioned his name
a few times.
Brendan Anthony. Workhorse of a football player for Pikeville is Brendan Anthony. I was really impressed. I watched that state championship game again last night, and the kid was just all over the field, man. Defensively, he was knocking down passes in a hook zone like a linebacker, and then the next play you look, he's rushing the quarterback, and he's all over the field. So back to punt is Wesley Abner, and Abner drops the ball, gets a foot on it, gets a high punt as he was rushed, and the ball going to fall after about 15-20 yards. He covered that. Had to rush that one as he dropped it. Brendan Miller decided to come up and take a seat behind us here, take some time off from being been behind the camera for the first half of the scrimmage, and he comes up to take a seat. Both of the Miller boys looking good in the first part of the scrimmage. Evan and Carson both getting a lot of playing time out on the field. So that brings out the defense for the Bobcats of Breathitt County as Pikeville Panthers come onto the field to show us that high-powered offense. We got some flashes of it here in the first part of this scrimmage. Duty back in the back of quarterback. Fakes inside. He's going to sit, go deep across the middle of the field. Got a man almost knocked down by Isaac Wheels Turner, and I believe that was Boykins, the intended receiver down the middle of the field. Had a couple guys in tow. Kylan Combs and Isaac Turner right there with him.
Bobcats had some good pressure there. Not really going to get the quarterback, but causing the rush probably caused that errant pass there.
Yeah. Got up in that space there. He couldn't really step up into the throw.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. There's very few quarterbacks that have the arm strength to make a throw like that when they're not able to step up and follow through.
So the Panthers, 2 receivers both sides, give up inside to Anthony. Wide open spaces as he rumbles for the first down. Big pickup that time, probably another 6 yards after the first down marker for Brendan Anthony.
Corey Combs on the blitz right there. You know, they like to blitz Combs, and he's a good blitzer, but he's such an instinctive defender. I like to see him just line up and read and react to the play.
He can flat play linebacker. I tell you, a little screen play over to Boykins on the left side, and he's going to be brought down by Brady Tincher and Wesley Abner. gobbled up right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Boykins might be able to shake the first tackler, but able to hang on, and next guy coming.
Yeah, that's good team defense. That's what you like to see. That's what makes for a great defense is when everybody does their job. And the first defender wasn't able to get him down, but able to hold him up. The second man gets the job done.
Cade Fugit comes out at nose guard, and James Ogans goes in. Dude, he's going to give up inside. He fakes, and he same little screen pass over to Boykins. That time Boykins makes a couple receivers miss. And Mr. Referee, let's say he stepped out of bounds after he picked up the first down.
So Boykins with a tad bit of speed over there.
Just a little bit.
A nice forearm there on the defender. Came up there to get him. He was able to get some yak yards.
I bet you could send him out to the grocery store and he'd get there faster than I would.
I don't know now. When you put food in the equation, I can move pretty good.
Hogan's in there at nose guard, and got Braxton Terry and Ethan Bowen bringing up the tackles. Running back changes side, gets a blocker in front of Anthony. Anthony will be tackled. Tincher and Isaac Turner. Anthony will pick up another first down for the Panthers.
Panthers putting a nice drive together here, Rob.
They really have. I'm really impressed. It says a lot about a team when you can go win a state championship, and then you look up and you're bringing your running back, you're bringing your quarterback, some good linemen, you're bringing some guys back, getting a transfer from Belfry. Look out in 1A. Pikeville going to make some noise again this year. Throwing back across the middle of the field, across his body. Pass intended, but knocked down. Fell incomplete. Two or three receivers down there. Two of them don't have numbers on their jerseys, so
those kind of throws can be dangerous. Fortunately for the Panthers, there wasn't a defender there, but not a receiver either. Actually, I guess like you said, there were two or three, but just not where they needed to be.
Good for these two programs to get together. We talk about a brotherhood, and we got Casey Allen standing here in front of us, and Brad Allen over on the other sideline for Pikeville. A lot of Breathitt fans don't remember the name Brad Allen. And Brad's a staple in that Pikeville program, coaching that line. We'll see him, talk to him over at the EKU 7-on-7 Lineman Challenge, and he's got a great group of kids he's working with. I guess I aggravated Casey to death this week about getting a roster for these guys. Good tackle at the line of scrimmage on Anthony by Braxton Terry and Jason Tolson and Ethan Bowen. Terry will come out, and Braylon Thomas come on to the field.
7-on-7 lineman challenge. I wish they had those things when you and me were playing.
It was both. It was a 7-on-7, but at the same time, the 7-on-7 was going on there at lineman challenge. I correct my run together sentence there. You didn't hear the comment.
Okay.
Gill up inside. Wow, as he makes them pay. I don't think that was Anthony. I think that's a different kid, maybe. Maybe it is. I guess that was Brandon Anthony. I thought I seen with a back plate on a minute ago. Maybe that's a different young man that was out there. But touchdown for the Panthers as Anthony right up the middle of the gut, through the line of scrimmage, through the linebacking core, and into the end zone, right up the middle of the field. I tell you, the young man is hard to stop. He reminds me of the running back that we played against, or Breathitt played against over at Pike Central a couple of years ago, that had all the yards for Pike, and really just ran all over the field for the Pike Central that night. So the extra point for the Panthers is good.
Yeah, that was a good well executed play there for the Panthers. If you're the Bobcats, that's not what you want to see on defense. You don't want to give up that kind of yards right up the middle of the defense. Good blocking up front, able to get a hold in the line, and the linebackers and safeties both kind of just missed on that.
Defensively, you come out and they get you widened out, and they just hurt you right up the middle. And they've got a great group of guys up front. They got some athletes, some studs on the offensive line for Pikeville. And that shows. I mean, where Anthony's able to pick a spot and find a glimpse of grass and get up the field as he just did.
Yeah, and Anthony, he looks like he's spent some time in the weight room. You know, he looks like a pretty solid young man. Ran hard right there, and ran through contact a couple times and just kept on going, moving his feet. I'm sure he's going to find himself in the end zone a few times this year.
It's hard to find a back his size that not only will lower his shoulder and deliver a hit, but also be able to get away from a hit too. Blake Cottle. Okay, we stand corrected. The running back's name is Blake Cottle. I've been giving Brendan Anthony some time. I apologize for that, folks. We don't have numbers on jerseys and we don't have a roster, so bear with us. My apologies, but Blake Cottle, you've been doing a heck of a job, young man. We'll try to stand corrected with that name the rest of the night. I'm glad we got some Pikeville fans watching us that are able to correct us. Mr. Cottle is a force to be reckoned with.
He had a nice run there. Do we know who the Panthers opened their season up with this year?
You know, I don't know. I printed off a lot of information here from KHSAA today. By the time I find it, Matthew will probably have it pulled up. That's 2022. That's an updated roster. August the 18th, Pulaski County at Corbin in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. And then the second week, they've got Johnson Central at home. Yep. Lexington Christian, Graceland, Belfry, Doane Community, Ohio, Paintsville, Hazard, and Boyd County for the Panthers.
It sounds like they play a pretty tough schedule as well, the Panthers this year.
Coach McNamara, sure, he needs the RPI points too, and they need to stand the eye test early, and I think that's one thing they look for probably in that program.
A couple teams got bit in the butt by the RPI in the last few seasons in the playoffs, and these coaches have really stepped up on the schedule.
Stacy makes a short pass to Sperry. Sperry drops the ball. Looked like maybe a screen pass. Had some Panthers coming after him too. Pikeville fans, if there's anyone else that we've been giving credit to the wrong name, then please let us know. Like I said, we've only, out of 11 kids, we got about 5 out there with numbers on them. So,
and you're not sure if that's the correct number.
It's true. You know, we've got 2 or 3 on the Breathitt team that's got a different number this year, I've already noticed. Stacy going to sit back, pushed out of the pocket, and whistle will blow the play dead. Would have been a quarterback sack probably in a regular game situation. So 4th and long. The Bobcats call out the punt team. First punt by Wesley Abner, I think was a little rushed. He dropped didn't have a handle on the snap and had to gather it up and put a boot to it. We'll see how he does here on his second effort. Here's the snap. Back to Abner. And much better kick that time. Going to fall and roll up the field. Good kick that time. Good coverage. And West got to be happier with that punt than it was the first one. Pretty good job that time. Took a good bounce after it hit the ground.
You know, one thing that kind of stands out to me with this Panther ball club is they've got some pretty good size. You saw the young man back there return that punt. He's quite a bit bigger than the defender that got down there. they've got some skilled players that look solid.
Pikeville's always been a program that demanded your respect. I remember going over there as a youngster, and just the facilities and the players and the number of players they were able to dress as a 1A school. It's always been impressive. Duty can't get rid of it that time. 3 Bobcats in his face. Tincher, Terry, and Bowling got on him. And Braden Barnett also put some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, that was some nice pressure by the defense right there. That's a good way to start off a series.
Yeah. So the Panthers come back to the ball and get set.
We kind of, kidded a little bit there about Coach Moore having some wrinkles and some things on the offense, but I'd say defensive coordinator Justin Combs probably has a few things for the Bobcat defense this year as well.
Oh, yeah. Little screenplay goes south for the Panthers as Duty drops back, pass across the middle, does not find the receiver, falls incomplete. The screenplay was a bust for the Panthers that time. But the Panthers, like we were talking about, always demanded respect. It's always been a program, and it's a large county. They've got a lot of different schools to pull from over there, and they always have a phenomenal program when it comes to football. And these last few years, Bobcats faced them in basketball. Down the Eastern and played them a couple years ago in the All-A Classic.
It's a good defensive play by Tincher, I think it was. They'll get a hand up on the ball and batted away before it could make it to the receiver there. I got to say, Rob, I don't know if I've expressed it, but I'm excited to get the season started this year and see what we got. I mean, I'm enjoying the scrimmage, but it's like you alluded to earlier. You're not really seeing what you have right now.
No, it's there's a lot of kids getting playing time that may not get a lot of playing time in a regular game situation. Pikeville on the field to punt the ball away. Great punt, high, covers some ground. And Caden Bowling will field it. Good catch. But yeah, you're going to see some kids get some playing time tonight just to see in competition if they show what they have been showing in practice. And it's a good chance for both ball clubs. Like we talked to Casey and talked to Brad, and they're going to be rotating 20 or 30 kids through on their sets. So it does. It gives both programs a good chance to see how they perform. Maybe a coach is looking at 3 different guys at one position. A lot of positions up in the air, and coach is trying to find who's going to be the starter. Yeah. It gives a good chance for them to put them in a competition atmosphere. As you see a blitz coming, Caden Bowling tries to get away from it and can't, and he's upended in the backfield.
Yeah, it helps to see how a player's going to react in an actual game situation.
Yeah, I'm excited about the schedule. I'm excited about the season. Like Darren Back said, let's get this started. Boy, it's here. Don't bat an eye. It goes by fast. We've got another scrimmage next week on Friday, and then Belfry comes calling. And from there on, we've got 1 week off there in October. First part of October, you get a week off, bye week, but it's time to get down to business. Stacy chased out of the backfield. He's going to throw across the middle, intended for Gibson. Ball falls incomplete. But the season is here. It's time to get started. It's August, and that's when we kick off football here in the mountains.
Yeah, it's August to start the season. I was thinking about that on the way over here. It's hot. Yeah, even today, but you remember that last game last year? It was polar opposite.
Yeah, a little bit cooler. Stacy sits in the pocket, plenty of time. He's going to go long over to the right sideline. Caught by Austin Sperry over his shoulder, and he's immediately tackled and put down by the defensive back, but a nice over-the-shoulder catch by Sperry.
Yeah, you got to definitely give Sperry some credit there. He did a good job of locating the ball and getting his body turned around to make the catch and then hanging on to it. That was a really good play.
And each game is going to have See this next play, it's going to be blown dead. Each game is going to have its own set of stories, its own set of. You look at I think one of the papers this week was talking about the number of state championships that were owned by competitors on Breathitt's schedule this year, and that's something very interesting. It's like we said, Coach Kyle Moore didn't hold any punches when it come to making the schedule this year. Bobcats going to be put to the test.
I think Pikeville is 7.
I think you're correct.
7 state champions.
We've got Pikeville, Belfry,
Johnson Central,
Danville,
Somerset. Stacy drops the ball, has to fall on and cover it up as he was being forced out of the pocket.
This Panther defense is bringing some pressure tonight now.
Breathitt's offense looking kind of out of sorts after that big catch by Sperry. They got the ball down the field. Second and forever if you're looking at the chains across on the visitor sideline across from us. Second about 25, 24.
And somebody moved there in the backfield.
Play going to be whistled dead. I think it was Gibson that was kind of stumbling off sides there. Left a little early from the running back position. Back to each side of Stacy. Gibson to his left, Caden Boland to the right. Two receivers far side. Sperry right in front of us. Stacy sits, goes deep down the field. Long ball for Sperry. And he was bumped out of there, no call. Ball's going to fall incomplete.
Something I think would have added another layer to this is if they had a clock and a play clock. Make it like a game situation. Because they're playing football, but it is a little bit more relaxed than it would be in a game situation. And I think that would be maybe possibly give you a more realistic look at what you got. But
a little looser than a game situation. No play clock. Scoreboard's not on. Stacy with the fake. Plenty of time in the pocket. Got a holding call. And he's going to go back across the middle to Isaac Wills Turner. Caught and tackled immediately by Pikeville defender.
I will say the Bobcats may have had a holding call right there, but Big Chris Neese over here had a good play right there. The end that was on him, gave him a spin move. He didn't get in a fuddle there, kept his feet under him, was able to not let him get around him. That was a good block. I think the end on the other side had a little more success with his spin move, and he's Bobcat was up inside to grab a hold of him.
Chris Neese at tackle. Beside him, Waylon Abner, Evan Miller at center, Sawyer Hall at guard, and Jacob Parker at tackle for the offensive line of the Bobcats.
Chris has grown just a little bit since he was at LBJ.
He's a man. Probably the tallest lineman out there on the field. Stacy, single back to his right is Gibson. Gibson picks up a block. Stacy still chased out there. I don't think Gibson was able to stay with the block and got by him. Stacy chased out of there. Ball going to be, play going to be whistled dead there. Keep the quarterback sack from happening.
That's been just a little bit of a theme right here tonight is the pressure off the edge. It's something the Bobcats probably have to work on a little bit moving forward.
That's why we're doing what we're doing, to see where our weaknesses are and what better a ball club to do that against than the Pikeville Panthers. I was impressed when I watched the state championship, Eric, but then when I went back and watched them play, I guess it was in Cove-Cath, the semifinal game, they were clicking. Offensively, defensively, special teams. It looked like a college team out there playing, and really, you think about Pikeville being right there in Pike County with all those surrounding schools and high schools. Pikeville does put you in kind of a university feel when it comes to comparisons. They're just everything they go at, they're the top echelon of schools, and they dress a lot of good players. They get a lot of good athletes, even though they're a single-A school. Duty, give up inside, and he's going to be breaks the tackle. Looked like Tolson had him down in the backfield, but he's able to get away and pick up the first. Is he going to pick up the first? We're going to spot the ball. Yeah, that's first down for the Pikeville Panthers.
That's another good tough run. I wasn't not able to tell if Tolson had him down or not, but good job by that by the running back, just keeping going. I mean, just like we saw in a particular game last year. Sometimes you may look down, but if you get it, keep going, you might have the benefit of the doubt.
Just trying to forget that one.
No hard feelings.
Duty gets his offensive set. Give to Boykin. Boykin bounces back inside, makes another man miss. And a great pickup by Boykin. And we got a lot of extra curricular activity out here with the defensive back and Caden Bowen. Tolson comes in to take up for his partner, and the referee shoves him out of the way. Gets him back in their huddles. I didn't see what happened, but usually the second man to react is usually the one that gets the whistle ball.
Almost always. No, I wasn't watching it. I was watching the ball carry. May watch what's going on out here on the edge, because there's been a little chippiness right there in that spot between receivers and defensive backs on both sides. So.
Well, it's like we talked about earlier. This is something I noticed in practice. This ball club's got an attitude. They're not going to be denied. Some people Boykin again up the middle, right through the line of scrimmage, through the linebackers. He's still on his feet, finally taken down. I'll tell you what, he is an elusive runner for the Panthers. They've got a little bit of edge on their, chip on their shoulder and an edge to them. Even in practice, they don't want to be denied. When the schedule was made, a lot of people already labeled it the revenge tour. They bad taste in their mouth from last season, and a lot of these kids played. We didn't send away that many seniors, and a lot of this ball club was on the field. And
I like the contrast between Cottle and Boykins. With the power, you got the speed.
It's unbelievable. Here we go. Boykin's going to bounce it to the left. And he's still on his feet, but he's going to be dragged out of bounds. I thought he was going to be able to cut it back to the right and come back across the field.
Yeah, I've mentioned this a time or two already. You like to see good team defense. I like seeing all those blue jerseys going to the ball. Nobody's over here watching the play.
Referee is sending Jason Tolson out of the game. Gabe Fugit also came off the field, but I think that was just a replacement, another nose guard coming in. But the referee walked Tolson over here and said he's out. That's pretty decisive there. So little chippiness maybe coming back. Retaliation on our part maybe over on the sideline, and he'll sit out the rest of the scrimmage. Beatty in the backfield, single back to the left, give up inside, bounces off one blocker and really close to the end zone. No signal, must be just a yard shy maybe. Yeah, great running offense for the Panthers. They've got 2 or 3 backs they can go to, and the quarterback, he ain't too shabby either. Great looking young man. It's like I said, it's a great place to get experience to find yourself on Kroger Field. And as a coach, you really got to be smiling. Coach McNamee can sit back and say, hey, I'm bringing my quarterback, my running back, back into next season. And they have punched it in across the goal line. Panthers will put 6 on the board.
This Panther offensive line is looking pretty strong here. This drive,
They looked really good, owning the line of scrimmage is it's not just important on a touchdown play. You're not going to get that touchdown play if you don't own the line of scrimmage the 25 plays before it.
No.
And they have methodically put forth a drive that's just walked down the field. And the extra point is good for the Panthers. Splits the uprights.
Yeah, a lot of casual football fans, they see the score, they see the big plays, and it's fun to watch. Everybody likes it. But none of that happens without controlling the offensive line. Like you said, the guys up front, that's where football games are won and lost.
It's controlling that line of scrimmage is not something that's just important every other play or a play here and there. If you control that line of scrimmage and your offensive line, and the same goes for the defensive line. If your line is controlling that line of scrimmage, your team's either taking the ball away on fourth down or you're marching down the field. And right now, the Panther line is passing the eye test pretty easily right now. They look good.
They do look good. And I agree with everything you just said. I remember a playoff game we played on this field years ago. I believe it was against Pulaski Southwestern. It was tied at halftime and starting the third quarter. Coach Holcomb came out. We received the ball and we ran it all the way down the field. I don't think he called a single pass play.
Yeah.
It took almost the entire third quarter, and by the time we scored, they were exhausted and we were in control of the ball game.
Yeah.
So, and we had a pretty big offensive line there. So yeah, that's how you control it.
And a testament back to the coaching staff at Pikeville. I know Brad Allen works with them a lot, and it shows on that JV squad that came out into the first part of that scrimmage. That JV squad that came out onto the field on their 10-play drive, they were on the line of scrimmage. Really not as big, players weren't as big as the starters, but they were doing a heck of a job at controlling the line of scrimmage and making sure that the Panthers got the ball down the field. So the kickoff by the Panthers is fielded. I believe that was Isaac Turner. And of course, in a scrimmage type situation, it's not a live kick where there will be a tackle or a run back. So we got A.D. Johnson in at quarterback now for the Bobcats. Backs to both sides. One of those is Caden Bowling, and I believe the other one is Jaden Gibby Gibson. Braxton Terry, number 26, onto the field. That'll be a little wide out here to John Carter Holland right in front of us. A.D. looks, trying to find a man. He's going to dump it to John Carter, and it falls incomplete, coming just a little short of Carter Holland.
Looks like Coach Moore was telling A.D. there when it kind of looked for a moment like he saw something and he wanted to let the ball fly, and he didn't. Held it for a few more steps.
When he should have thrown it.
Then he should have thrown it. Looked like Coach Moore was telling him that was there.
Backs to both sides of Johnson. He will give to Caden Bowling. Good block on the corner. But number 23 comes up unblocked or off a block, and he will make the tackle on Bowling in the backfield. Tackle for a loss. Number 23 for the Panthers able to make that tackle. I was looking at the defensive line. Number 54, that nose guard for the Panthers. To me, that's what a nose guard looks like. He's a big guy. He's going to take up some space, but he can move. He's agile, really good feet. And watch his footwork against Evan. That's a good test for Miller as we got a Piper showing blitz. Hands up in the face, pushing the guy back. And that's how you own the line of scrimmage. And there he is coming in from behind to assist in the tackle.
Yeah, that right there is what you want to see, is somebody that when the ball goes out of the quarterback's hand, you turn and get up the field.
Yep. The play's not away until he gets to it. That's the attitude that you like to see on defensive line.
Well, I know in my experience, like I've made a tackle or two, or even recovered a fumble that I didn't expect to be in because I was following the play.
Offense gets set for the Cats. We got Carson Miller in there at center now. And give to Alex Strong. Alex right up the middle. And on 4th and 4, he's going to pick up the first down. So a good, strong run by Alex Strong out of the backfield. Good to see Alex getting some time back there at the running back position. Young man does a great job on defense.
Running with some authority right there. If he keeps that up, he may find some playing time here for the Bobcats.
Miller snaps the ball. He's wiping his hand off. Ball rolls back to Johnson. Johnson got to get rid of it. Throws down the sideline and throws that one away over the head of Alex Strong. Carson was trying to wipe his hands off about the same time AD was calling for the snap, and he's asking for a towel right now. The ball rolled back to AD. A good sweaty game like this when it's hot, you got to have a towel on somebody, quarterback or center one.
Yeah. Hot and humid day like this, I would have been soaked before the game ever started. I got here to stretch before the scrimmage.
Wide outs in front of us, John Carter Holland and Braxton Terry. Single receiver on the far sideline. I can't see the number from here. Johnson going to sit back, throw it short to Gibson. Gibson takes a hit just behind the line of scrimmage. Panthers make the tackle and once again stop the Bobcats short. Loss of about 2 yards.
Yeah, that was a good force by the corner there. That's how you want your cornerbacks to come up and play the run.
Johnson sits back, being pushed out of the pocket, and the play will be blown dead again.
Yeah, pressure coming off the edge again. That's something I think the Bobcat coach should probably take a look at. Maybe have to work on the footwork there on the tackles or something. This upcoming week to get that correct. Now these Pikeville Panther defense has blitzed off the edge quite a bit tonight. They have brought pressure there. They have attacked and that part of the Bobcat offense deliberately, and they have found some success there. But that's a good thing for us to find out right now.
From a defensive standpoint, that's probably the quickest and easiest way to disrupt a rifle or a shotgun type quarterback offense is to bring one of those edge guys off the weak side. And really let him hear the footsteps behind him when he turns to make that throw, or let him see you coming at him.
I mean, there's a reason you think about the NFL. There's a reason that position, edge rusher, is so highly valued, because it is disruptive, like you said, very disruptive. And that's also why tackles are such a highly valued position at that level.
Braylon Thomas will come in for Braxton Terry. Ogans in at the nose guard. Ethan Bowling will be the tackle on the far side. Trumbo will come in at one linebacker. And Corey Combs at the other. Braden Barnett, Brady Tincher, Alex Strong, Barker, Combs, and Abner will make up the defense. Defense finally set for the Cats, and the Panthers are ready on offense. There's a snap. Fake up inside, quarterback keep, and he'll be taken down after a pickup of about 2. Gabe Fugit will go back in for Ogans on the line. And John Carter Holland is buckled up, going in for Barker. Barker was the other receiver a minute ago. I was trying to find out who that was. He had his side turned to him. I couldn't see him. Walker doing a fine job out there tonight, too. Quarterback for the Panthers. Pass almost knocked down by Thomas. Had a hand up at it.
Yeah, I thought he had deflected it, but still able to complete the pass.
Screen play was complete, but down marker says maybe a loss of about a half a yard. We say he got back to the line of scrimmage anyway. JV squad for the Panthers. Line is set. Quarterback going to roll to his right. Great ball and a great pass just through the hands of the receiver. I like the athleticism of the quarterback there for the Panthers. He rolled out to the right. Great ball. Perfect spiral.
Yeah, that's a very difficult throw to make, but it was where it needed to be, just not able to bring it in.
Quite a few Bobcats chasing him right there, too. Terry will come back in to the defense for the Cats. John Carter Holland and Colin Combs back here at safeties. Kobe Bird in at a linebacker. Quarterback sets, plenty of time. Throws across the middle. Picked up, tackled by Braden Barnett. And Kobe Bird there to clean up. Good tackle by Braden right there, Johnny on the spot. As soon as the ball was caught, Braden was there to make the open field tackle.
You know, Braden he's become a good physical defender for these Bobcats. We were watching him some late in the year last season. Looking pretty good here tonight.
And he's put on about 30 pounds. I forgot what Josh told me. Braden weighed last year, but he's put on some weight, been in the weight room. You know, that's one thing we haven't really discussed. Cats been practicing and getting prepared for the season, and we've been without a weight room for over 6-7 weeks, I guess. Everything getting remodeled and redone down here and to our left. So in a difficult situation as far as weight room would be considered, as the Cats have not been in it as much as they would like to have been. If you'll remember, Bobcats had the Lift-a-thon scheduled, our fundraiser event, and it was canceled there at the last moment. And we've been out of the weight room pretty much ever since then. Not been able to get a lot done unless the guys have their own weights at home or are able to go to the gym.
Well, I think Coach Oaken would have just had it for run twice as much.
Crisp now the quarterback for the Cats. Eli Crisp's first snap as a Bobcat since last season in a scrimmage over at Pike Central. He was injured and was out all season last year, and he's come in. It's the first snap he's took tonight, I believe. I think it is. AD came in during the first part of the scrimmage, and AD Johnson took some snaps here earlier in this part of the scrimmage. So winding down here for the Panthers and the Cats. Panthers have really came out and shown some great athleticism, great discipline, a great coached ball club, very impressive. Class 1A state champs trying to defend that title here in 2023. A great test for the Bobcats. As the Panthers came calling here to the riverbank. Eli Crisp with backs to both sides. Gibson and Holland, and give to Holland, the hard runner. Look out, here comes John Carter. He makes two people miss, and he's out of bounds. Picks up the first down. If he'd had 2 more yards of running room, he'd have been gone.
I tell you what, he reminds me of somebody.
His dad's name was Chris.
I'll tell you what, they do look a lot alike, and they play a lot alike. His dad was strong, was fast. Neither one of them were really big guys, but I think that John Carter might be bigger at this point than his daddy was. Both of them athletic and exciting players to watch.
John Carter faced the injury bug, and hopefully we've gotten past that, and he's going to be a big part of this Bobcat football team. Here goes Colin Combs. The middle of the Combs boys has got the ball, and he's rumbling. Big pickup of yards. First down plus about 25 for Colin Combs.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but that kid reminds me of somebody too. Like I've not had the opportunity to watch, Shorty's boys play a whole lot. But they're instinctive ball players. Yeah. But I think Kylan, he reminds me of Shorty when he does. A little bit smaller version of him, but
Dawson Hayes coming into the game for the Cats. I'm going to tell you something about Kylan. Kylan is a ball player. He's playing offense or he's playing defense and his team's up 40. You better not take him out. Don't take me out, Coach.
One thing I'd like to say about both of those young men, Corey and Kylan, is that they seem very instinctive on the ball field. And I'm sure Shorty's probably been living and breathing it. They're fun to watch.
Corey also has a high football IQ. Trumbo going to get the carry in the backfield. Trumbo picks up the first down, makes a man miss. Trumbo will walk into the end zone for the Cats. Young man coming out of the backfield. I could be wrong, but on his first carry as a Bobcat here on the high school squad, even though it's a scrimmage, it counts as a carry.
That's a good-looking run. He was able to show some speed, showed some power on that, and able to keep, evade a couple of tackles. Young man might have a few more of those in him this year.
JV squad's showing some life here late in the scrimmage.
That's the best thing I've seen all night is the smiles down there.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. If you're not having fun, then why do it? And they're grinning. If we were keeping score, they might be on the lower side here, but they're having a good time. They're playing hard to get the experience. That's what this is all about.
Braxton Terry steps on for the extra point, puts it up. Oh, yeah, cleared that one.
Nice looking kick.
Had about 30 yards extra onto it, I believe.
Did you teach him that?
Nope, I can't kick. As a freshman, he came home one day and said, I think I'll start trying to kick extra points. Are you sure? Yep.
Hey, that's a great thing to do. Look at what he's providing for his team. The fact he took that upon himself and he's put in the work and got to the level he is. That's a great contribution to his Bobcat football team.
You touched on something that is a real positive here for the Cats, even though the scoreboard would have been different as they start to meet on the 50-yard line to shake hands. The Bobcats may have been down on the scoreboard, but I tell you something, they've had a good time here tonight. They've enjoyed themselves. Everybody's been on the field playing hard. The Cats, I think they're going to prove some people wrong this year. It's been interesting to watch them on the practice field, getting chippy with each other and having attitude, and then laughing it off and walking off the field at the end of practice, having a good time. It's what you really want to see. They've got an attitude that's really forceful, and they're able to get after it in practice. And what a great scrimmage here with Pikeville. Glad to see them over. A very impressive football team. And folks, if you don't keep up with Pikeville, you're going to hear about them. Believe me, Coach Chris McNamee and the Panthers, I predict that they'll be right back there defending that state title this year. They've not shown everything in their bag of tricks here tonight, as we talked about, but definitely impressive ball play.
Yeah, they've looked good tonight. It's going to be interesting to me because there's some common opponents on both these Bobcat schedules to see how does Breathitt, how does Pikeville both do against Johnson Central, against Belfry, and kind of compare. And that's not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison. It'll be interesting to see how they both do against those common opponents.
Folks, that's going to do it for us here from the Mike Holcomb Athletic Complex. We appreciate you guys joining us here on Bluegrass Sports Nation. The Pikeville Panthers defending 1A state champs came to the Riverbank, and they've proved to be the more powerful team here tonight against the Bobcats. Great job, Coach McNamee and the Panthers. Appreciate them making the drive over and entertaining us with some great high school football. Folks, we got another week of scrimmages, and then we're right into the schedule here on Bluegrass Sports Nation. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Matt Hudson, Darren Batt, Brendan Miller, Eric. Appreciate you being here, buddy. And all you guys, I'm Rob Hounsell. We're signing off here on Bluegrass Sports Nation. We'll see you hopefully next week. If not, we'll see you the week at Belfry.